Alright. What's up, everybody? We are here. We're finally casting the DreamHack Masters Atlanta top 4. We've got a banging match here. A rivalry. They've been going back and forth over the last year. And of course, in the top right, we do have Maru, representing Onside Gaming. An absolute monster. His opponent in the top left, though, the one player that's really been giving him trouble recently, and that is, of course, herO. Neither player having their clan tag here on their North American account. And herO going straight for the gold base. What the hell, man? Oh my god, herO. herO is such a savage. And you know what's crazy is I think herO picked this map as well, if memory serves. So he's actually gone and picked this map. He's gone straight for the gold base. Maru should have some sort of contingency for this because herO, you give him a gold base map, there's a high chance that he's going to go towards taking that very early on. Maru has not scouted. He's done a double gas build. Notice he's pulling off gas, so he's going to go for Reapers. Does he go for a reactor? Okay, so he's going one Reaper into a reactor. He could go for a whole bunch of Reapers and Hellions, or he could just go straight for some sort of 2-base push. I think it's very difficult to defend this base. Now, Oracle into Blink is usually what you'd see from herO in this sort of scenario where Oracle kind of pins the Terran back, gives you a lot of utility, and then the Blink Stalkers can counter. But no, he's going to go straight. Twilight Council is herO. Okay. Reaper's going to come in, gets a probe on the Watchtower. Adept is coming forward. Remember, Maru does not know about the gold base just yet. Starts his command center on the high ground. That starport does start up over there as well. Adept shades out, barely misses that Reaper. That Reaper went just to the left side. He could dive into the main, but another Adept and a Stalker already queued up. So herO making sure he keeps up that unit production, which is absolutely vital. Recalls a whole bunch of probes out of his main base. 9 workers from there. This Reaper appears to be stuck. He could try to jump up there, break the shade, and indeed he does. herO not microing that shade correctly. The Adept is going to chase towards it, but you can see that the Reaper can now survive an extra Adept hit. Oh, but he's going to sacrifice that to get a probe there. Not a bad call by Maru, as getting out of the base was always going to be a long shot. Cyclone is on the way. Maru... Oh, wait, is he going Banshee? Okay, I think Maru, he could go Raven here technically, but there's really no reason to do it. I mean, this has got to be a cloaked Banshee opening, and that is super peculiar. Cyclone coming forward is going to get a nice free kill here on this Adept. That's a good way to start things off. Command center floating down did get spotted there by herO. herO's got 2 gateways. He's got a 3rd gateway going down here at the gold base. That income is really soaring right now, even with a mule mining in the main, of course. As these SCVs transfer down and double mules start dropping, it'll be not terrible for Maru, but definitely not good for him. This Adept's going to shade out of there for herO. Of course, the Cyclone starts to knock the shields off, but the Adept does get out of there before going down. Maru still does not know what he's up against, and he's going Banshees with Cloak, Tanks, and Marines. And he's building a bunker as well. I wonder if he realizes what he's up against in this game. That gold base is giving such a huge boost to herO. And as good as Banshees can be, well, there is no robo actually, so no detection, but a shield battery is there in the main. Ooh, Cyclone comes in, locks on, but unable to get that probe due to the shield battery there. More Stalkers able to flank that potentially. Maru still lets his bunker finish. He still feels like he definitely needs that. The problem for him is unless he cloaks up here before crossing the Watchtower, then that Banshee will get spotted well ahead of time. Cyclone gets jumped on, but herO with some good blink back micro. Maru does keep the Cyclone alive for now, and it looks like these Stalkers are going to try and dive in the back door. He's got the Adept to spot there so he can blink forward, start running into that main. Maru does already have a siege tank there. The problem for Maru is with this style, if he doesn't move out soon, then he's going to kind of hit an expiry date. Banshee crosses over. Robo is on the way right now. Remember, a single Banshee is not enough. You need a second one to have the lethality. If you can't one-shot the workers, then the shield battery basically completely blocks this. It'll take 10 shots to actually take out a probe. Maru does cloak that, starts to push back those Stalkers, but nice blink away there. And look at this. He's even just going to target down the shield battery itself. A second one does start there, but already tanking a lot of damage. The Banshee's going to run out of energy in about 15 seconds as well. This Banshee does clear up the Watchtower, gets rid of the Adept there. 2 probes going down so far, but I think this is acceptable. This is a big commitment for Maru. His stim is miles away. He doesn't really have a follow-up to this. The Stalkers do take out the Banshee. 4 probes in total going down. The other Banshee returns home. Maru puts a dent in herO's income, and that is something, but he's still got the gold base. As that starts to get low on minerals, this 3rd and then a 4th base as well are both going to become very important and he's gone for DT blink behind it. So herO, the mad lad, is going to start blinking DTs across the back, running them into the main base. There's going to be a Raven out, popping here for Maru. And he's got a third command center, so he's planning to play a longer game. The problem for Maru is there is literally nothing that herO has to be afraid of. As I said, herO can take a fast fourth. He can take his upgrades, tech, all sorts of things, because Stim has just started. The third barracks is not even finished building, and whilst Maru may be defensively pretty strong right now, we know that herO is a player who, when you move out to expand, he will pounce. And even with this third going up inside, yeah, you'll be pretty solid, but when you take a fourth base, I mean, you're kind of so totaled up that herO can just take the map, and he will be able to potentially swarm over you. He's going for his +1 attack. He's on 5 gateway production. And 48 probes only. So, I mean, that's the big problem, I would say, for him, is only 48 probes in total is definitely not fantastic. And here we go. Banshee comes forward. Oh, herO does get his Stalker attacked. You can always blink that one away. But just spotting it forces that Banshee to return. Maru trying to open that one out. 5 barracks are here on the way. Proxy gateway going up for herO really nearby. So he's already gone up 8 gateways. Now, I do wonder, is it going to be splash damage, or does he go for a second forge? Since he's building Immortals, Stalkers, Blink DTs, I feel like actually the Blink DT plus Zealot style often is something where people like to go double upgrades. Oh, 3 DTs! He can start to 2-shot siege tanks. There we go. Very nice. Gets a siege tank. He doesn't want to lose these guys. You can see he's hesitating a little bit, but oh, he does go a bit too deep there. herO just needed to tuck that one away a little bit. Gets a bit excited. Behind it, Robo Bay is on the way. He's got more gateways, extra gases here. Still no 4th base for herO. And herO, despite facing a Maru that's very turtled up, I do think herO has given him a bit too much respect. Kind of worried that a push might come out. I think he could have probed up harder than this, for sure. And I do think he could have had that quicker 4th base. We get to see everything. He's the guy who's worried about his gold base getting attacked. So, you know, easy for us to criticize. Oh, +1 armor has kicked in, and without +1 attack finish just yet, the DT not able to one-shot SCVs. Does get the tank splash damage to take out some, though, and he's going to blink out down the bottom side. Nice micro by herO. Another DT on the other side. If it blinks in, though, the double Widow Mine there is, of course, going to smash any units that blink out. Stim forward for Maru. Does get rid of one of the Stalkers on the front of this. Maru, is he actually going to push? He's got a very good supply lead, and like I said, herO never really got an economy lead in this game, did he? So even though he had so much freedom... Oh, and the DT comes in and gets another tank! Very nice. He's going to bait 2 scans, which is a huge victory in of itself. That's a lot of potential money going down the drain. 4th Nexus only now starting at 8 minutes 40. The Stalkers seem to have missed where this army is. He's going to see it as it stumbles down the ramp. If herO can kill that Cyclone, that'd be great. Maybe the Raven would be a decent pick-off. Doesn't want to take too much damage on these Stalkers. Picks off a Marine there, damages a Cyclone. Sentries, Immortals, and Zealots are here. But a bit of a supply block. herO's second Colossus starting up only now. The first one's just popped out in the main and should be coming down very shortly. Here we go. The Immortals with the force fields. A very scary force, but Maru, look at his micro, the way he dances back and forwards, and that is a full energy Raven. I really feel like he could just drop auto turrets on this and potentially clear it out. However, with 2 Immortals in there, the auto turrets do not have that same tanking power they do against other armies. Oh, Widow Mine gets a big splashy there. Banshee is caught out in the open along with a bunch of those Marines. Stalkers starting to chase this down. Maru probably needs to turn around and try and defend this, but Zealots running in on the rear, and they've actually taken out the wall and a bunch of the Marines and Marauders. This is why Maru has to retreat right now. Meanwhile, it looks like Widow Mines did end up defending his army in the center. So many units starting to go down here, though. That was a very efficient Zealot run by. Remember that herO has this gateway down the bottom. That's what he used to set this up. Finally, Maru comes back and cleans it up. Banshee out here as well, taking advantage of the lack of detection. Doing all right, and that last Zealot does fall. Maru's got a 4th command center. He's going up to 8 barracks, and his 2-2 upgrades are finished. So Maru is ahead in this game. I mean, he's ahead in workers, he's ahead on army, he's ahead on upgrades, but there is double Colossus production, and 4 sentries warping in. Wow, herO is such a weird guy in terms of so many players would not build sentries right now. Raven gets an interference matrix off, and he's going to try and fall back. The Colossus survive, only a single sentry going down there. There are still 2 Widow Mines out here. Oh my god, are they both going to fire? Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my god, these Widow Mines. And herO is going to keep pushing on forwards into this. Maru does have a Viking and a lot of Marauders here. Gets rid of all the sentries. herO's getting pretty wasteful right now. He's down 2,000 resources in the units lost. And remember, that gold base is no longer an advantage. He's having to transfer workers there over to his 4th. He desperately needs to drop a 5th and a 6th because that gold base mines out so quickly that you need to speed up your rate of expansion to compensate for how quickly it mines out. Stalkers take out one Viking, not quite the second one. The blink forward means a lot of the Stalkers get killed. A beautiful arc here for Maru, and I think herO is overextended, absolutely, but 4 Colossus and a Zealot Warp in on the right. The Zealot Warp in does it. Oh, that's huge. Those Zealots came in just in the nick of time. The Marauders were about to collapse on top of those Colossus. These Widow Mines have just fired yet again. Can you believe it? How many units have they blasted leaving this base? I don't even know. The Stalkers are going to come forward. They get rid of one of the Widow Mines. The other one is there, but a probe will take that hit for the team. No! Oh, Maru with the retarget! Maru with the retarget, you absolute savage, you. Oh my god, it was just on the edge of range. 12 probes go down. herO's in the dumps, man. He is so far behind now. The crazy thing is that he's still posturing aggressively with a way worse army. He's got a +1 army versus a mass 2-2 army, and he's down in army supply. And yet he's on the Terran side of the map, scaring him, posturing him. Maru, though, seems to have had enough. The Disruptor shot does help out, but oh, those Vikings, man, they are hammering the Disruptors, the Stalkers, the Colossus. Maru finally able to exert his numbers advantage, and he pushes herO back to his side of the map. Only one Colossus left standing. The Disruptors are coming out. I don't know if herO is going to be able to defend this. It will take some real skill from him to do so. 3DTs are going to come in on the backstab, though. That's a very clever move. Anything to pull the attention away from his base. Just going to click on that front turret. Scan does go down. Quickly blinks away. Getting a turret, getting a scan, forcing his attention as well. These are all great moves. Problem for herO is he doesn't have any detection. And look at that. The Widow Mines, man. The Widow Mines. He's got double robo. He needs to keep building observers. Let's see if he's queued one up. He's got no observers queued up. Oh no. I think herO is doing the SOS thing. For those who don't know, the SOS thing is this, yeah. It's where you basically just kill your own units with Colossus attacks, use Disruptor shots, and you refuse to make detection because you feel you're already too far behind on robo units. SOS used to do this all the time, and he's lost games. He would lose games to Widow Mines alone. And I think herO is stuck in that same mindset of, no, I need Disruptors. I can't afford it. I can't spare it. I can't do it. The problem is, as long as Maru keeps building Widow Mines and just spreading them across the map, they're going to keep getting sick value. The splash damage they do is monumental, man. Army split here for Maru. herO might be able to pounce on part of this army. The Widow Mine does take out a unit. Zealot's taking a lot of splash damage, as you can see there, just how fragile they get from a single Widow Mine splash. Oh, big flank, big flank. Okay, so force fields are available. The Disruptors do fire out pretty early. 2 more Disruptors do fire out as well. Oh, great shot on the Marauders on the right side. Colossus is almost certainly going to go down, though. And he needs force fields just to protect the Disruptors. He's got to keep those alive. Oh, one Disruptor does go down. Here we go, giant army cascading down this right side of the map. And he can always... Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, balls! Oh, good hit there from herO. More Disruptors coming forwards. Maru, that might actually stall out his advance for a moment, as that was a really good hit. I do think herO needs to keep doing Zealot run-bys, though. But there's Widow Mines, there's Planetaries. He's adding so many command centers. herO is going to get to +3 attack, but remember, he doesn't have vision. He's using DTs. He's trying to see what's going on, but Maru, actually, with those Widow Mines all over the map that aren't really getting cleared, he's the one with the vision advantage right now. Great EMPs. And good dodges on these Disruptor shots as well. Looks like this gateway got repowered yet again. So Maru's going to go clear that up. He's like, oi! So he keeps killing the pylon, but not the gateway itself. So no reason why herO wouldn't do that. Stalkers blink forward and get a medevac. That's a 5th base going up for Maru. A massive amount of income available to the Terran. Now, I feel like herO's actually got himself back into a playable position, but he definitely can't dive here. This is a crazy move. If he commits on that planetary, Disruptors going forwards. Oh, big Disruptor shots landing on Maru. Oh my god, the hot pickup to save some of the units, but the DT's clearing the southern flank. And herO, just by being on the front and aggressive for so long, manages to find a half-decent trade. I say half-decent because remember, he still does not have that big an economy behind it. He's got 70 workers, but oh, he's got to be careful. Good double Disruptor shot goes out. One Marauder goes down. Oh, the Widow Mines. They are just causing him so much trouble. Oh, and this Widow Mine firing again, another disruptor down on 40 hit points. These Widow Mines are just causing him so many issues in this game, and he still hasn't rebuilt a single observer. He's, of course, just trying to see what he can do. Planetary clears the probe up, but 3-3 is finished for Maru. Maru is adding ghosts. He's on 6 ghosts, about to be on 10. He's adding liberators. And you can see, yes, disruptor shots are scary, especially in this choke point here, but he's got to flank with his army. If he can flank around the south side, it's going to be hard for herO to force the issue here. herO's moving in, but there is a big pre-split. After the way that last fight went, you can see that Maru is very, very ready for it this time around. Ooh, juicy disruptor shot there would be great. He's going to throw it out. Big army on the south side, though. herO jumps on the planetary. Mad lad. Oh, the disruptors are in the open. Maru coming forward. He eats one big disruptor shot, but every single other one gets focused down. And herO there, I mean, he absolutely just clicked that one with his dick and got a bit too excited. It's the secret to his success. herO attacking when other players wouldn't. It's won him a lot of games in the past. He gets a planetary, but he throws his entire army away. He's got to restart disruptor production from scratch. No sentries alive, no colossus, a single immortal, the only core to his army. And what's he got? Some zealot DT run by. So he's saying, look, I can't beat that army, so I'm just going to go for a giant counterattack on this planetary, and he might get it. The problem is he's got nothing at home to defend the Doom drop going into his main base. Planetary, oh god, if the planetary survives, this is a disaster! Oh no, the master pair is good. herO both doesn't manage to take out the planetary, doesn't manage to make Maru hesitate, and look at that. Oh, good disruptor shot, but doesn't matter. That's a lot of units to have inside your main base on your tech, and Maru just handles it calmly. I said you have to have a plan to deal with the gold base. Apparently, Maru's plan was just play a rock-solid macro game and let herO gas himself out. herO did not take that third or fourth base nearly as early as he could have. And I do think, remember I was saying he wasn't probing as hard as he could have. I think if we go back to about 7 to 8 minutes, there's a point here where herO, I think, easily could have taken a fourth. And I think he also had the information to know that he could have. But you know what? This is actually the first time he spots this third command center landing down. So in hindsight, I think we knew there was a third command center, but he never actually saw that. And often when you see someone pumping Marines, tanks, and Banshees, it leads into a very fierce push. So it feels like herO just kind of realized what was happening a little bit too late. And even after seeing the third command center already finished and floating over, you should be deciding, oh great, we're going to a really big macro game. And it feels like herO hesitated. I would have liked to see a probe immediately move down, drop a fourth Nexus, chronoing probes, non-stop up to 75 and going double robo disruptor. But you can see that he didn't actually end up doing that until about maybe a minute later. You can see he sent the probe, but he goes second robo, gases, stops probing at 63. He's microing DT harassment. And whilst he was being very effective with the DTs, this Nexus here is just way too delayed. And you always want to be up a base on the Terran player. So even though he was picking off tanks and getting double scans baited, 8 minutes 40 is just way too late for that fourth base, because this base is already half mining out in just a moment. And you know, you've already got a Terran player who's mining more resources than you are. And he's up in army already. And he's up in upgrades. At this point, herO is pretty far behind in this game. So I think herO thought Maru was going to be aggressive, didn't get the information he needed. And that is one of the weaknesses of a Twilight Council opening. You don't have an Oracle to scout, and his Robo and his Observers were out very late and forced to defend the Banshees, rather than going in the base and scouting the early third command center. Let's go game 2. All right, a rough game 1 there, despite getting away with the gold base. But it's very hard to take a gold base and invest in scouting at the same time. herO in the top right side, and his opponent going for a little bit of a kind of Macarax here. Maru in the bottom left side of the map. And barracks into gas. Oh, what? He goes straight there. herO with the next level studying of his opponent. Knew he likes to do this placement on this map, and he gets a cancel on the barracks. Oh, Maru is going to be so triggered, because this is one of those things. It's such a proxy that's far from the enemy base. You never even consider, even if they know it's coming, you don't think, oh, they're going to send a probe to catch it, because it's not like you're building it right outside their base. If you predictably put a barracks here, you can't do that every game, right? Because you know, oh, a guy like herO is going to see I've done it 2 out of my last 3, you know, TvPs on this map. He'll check for it every game. But if you put it there, you're not expecting that. But I do like this adjustment. Maru says, okay, I'll go for the eBay block. I don't know if it's actually that good, though. Now, this probe, did it get a kill? No, it did not, but he's damaged a lot of them. He's going to micro it around. Now, one of the problems here is that herO does tend to get excited in these scenarios. He does go Cybercore, but it's a very late Cybercore. He took a while to make the decision to commit to that. And he's going to go straight for a Nexus as soon as that eBay is down. It's still got 50 hit points. Probes do not do a lot of damage, I'll tell you that much. Reaper does start incredibly late, guys. Reaper's meant to start at a minute 28. It started at a minute 48. So a 20-second delay on the Reaper. And the Nexus, not really delayed that long. That Nexus went down at a minute 50, which if you've gone core first, I mean, it's maybe a 15, 20-second delay, but of course, he's kept building probes in the meantime. He's got that second pylon coming up, and that's timing out immediately, so he can chrono an adept across this map. Exactly what you want to do here to get some scouting info. I feel like herO definitely comes out on top of this opening, especially when you factor in he killed the SCV, forced the barracks cancel, and shut down that engineering bay pretty quickly, so very good way to start off this match on Inside Out. He's once again not playing a Stargate opening, so herO very keen to play Twilight once more here. I guess he could go Robo first, but I mean, that's pretty rare. You can go like Colossus drop or Disruptor drop is super not solid in this matchup, and going for, say, a Prism Stalker drop is just super old school. I know Classic's been trying to bring back the just let's make a Robo and get a bunch of observers up for vision and play defensive Colossus. But that is not herO's style. That is an entirely turtley style. Ooh, okay. Adept goes for it. And he sees this is multiple Reapers and Hellions. This is really good scout because you've seen he's committing to a third Reaper and a second Hellion. So all you need to do now as herO is just defend. But he's actually going to try and ambush while he has the numbers advantage. Oh, wow, he's going to commit. Man, an extra Reaper and Hellion are about to come out. This is a dangerous move from herO. This could get punished really bad. But on the other hand, Maru is so keen to punish these Adepts as well as defend that SCV on the command center. herO is going to try and micro this one out. Oh, he's going after the SCV on the command center. Great pull by Maru. Look at that micro by Maru. Very nicely done. However, oh, he loses both Reapers, and he does not want to lose that Hellion as well. Maru with a little bit of panic in his micro there. He's making some mistakes. The Adept goes back in. It's going to get that SCV. And you know what, guys? I think he canceled. Yeah, he canceled the extra Reapers and Hellions. He was like, oh no, building 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions isn't going to work because it's been scouted. Exactly what I was talking about. So he decided to lift off, builds a Tekla, builds a reactor, but that also presents him, herO that is, with an opening because now herO's delayed the command center massively. I mean, dude, if Maru doesn't start building another depot soon, he's going to be supply block because he can't get this bloody command center up. And now even panic building Reapers right now is Maru. That has to be a misclick there. He cancels it. But you can see lots of uncharacteristic mistakes from Maru. The Cyclone is a very good unit to defend here. But look at them pull back. herO once again delaying the command center. Oh my god, he's getting so many SCVs. This is so painful for Maru right now. So many SCVs. Oh, I like the SCVs getting picked up by the medevac, but another one goes down on the retreat to that. This 3-gate pressure is beautiful from herO. This is kind of like the old parting build, but off a more standard opening, so you can't read it ahead of time, right? The parting 3-gate, the problem is that it was transparent that it was coming, whereas herO's might not hit anywhere near as fast, but it is so surprising. Tank on the right side should push back the Stalkers. Oh, the Adept just killed 2 SCVs on the left of our screen. He went for the 2 low hit point SCVs, cleared those up. The tank gets a shot on the Stalkers, but they just walk away. Units Lost tab tells us a story, and that is a story of Maru having a very bad start to this game right from that barracks getting cancelled. I mean, this is the thing where Maru often gets barracks that are proxied cancelled. He often gets his proxy barracks shut down. The difference in this scenario is that he's playing herO, and the moment herO has an edge, he's like, okay, let's run with it, and a very cool 3-gate build. Now, just to remind you guys, I was saying he'd play Twilight, but remember, this Twilight's incredibly late. He didn't go Blink. He went 3 gates, only then did he go Twilight. So it's a very low-tech option where you're making a lot of probes and a lot of units, but you're delaying your tech, your upgrades a very long time. So even though herO's got great control right now, you got to keep in mind that it's like, yeah, you're ahead on the material, and massively so. Let's not understate that. Massively so. But your tech isn't amazing. You've got charge, but you don't have blink. So like drops can kind of dance around the map, and it's hard for you to hunt them down because you have no Phoenix, you have no blink. So you've got no real anti-air control. That's why herO's trying to move his Stalkers out. So if a drop comes by, he can ambush it on the side of the map. He doesn't know there's a drop coming, but he's kind of like setting up just in case there is. He's also warping in DTs. He's going to run those in the front, but there's a Raven out as well as a beautiful triple tank spready here. You can see there's one below the ramp as well. Third command set is coming up. Maru is once again saying, let's just turtle it out. herO is not that good in the late game, and that's fine. He's going to push back that DT. DT did actually kill an SCV on the wall, so not too bad, but oh, I like this move. Maru hunts it down with the Raven and the Cyclone drop. Now, Maru was trying to scout the third base because he has no idea what hero's up to, and his Marine got killed over on this ramp, so he didn't get to see what was going on. And that is a bummer, because obviously he's down 20 workers, and he's playing a Mega Turtle style. But it's going to be such an ordeal to get back in this game. Now, this is yet again, just like game one, a situation where herO could take a 4th base and even a 5th. The problem is a lack of scouting. And he does not know about that 3rd command center. So this is the ongoing problem that he's having as a player. Is herO is investing in aggression. He's investing in you know, economy. But then there's always this point where he's like, is there a 2-base push coming? Or are you playing a macro game? And he doesn't really know which one it is. Now there's a Cyclone moving out that left side. That DT is there. He's going to blink up. Oh! Oh! Maru does not realize that DT just blinked into his main base. Oh, this is so annoying. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's so irritating. Okay, only 3. Could have been worse, but still, just for a DT. And this is against, you know, hero's on 60 workers. You're only on 40. That's a bummer, man. Maru's economy looking really rough. He's got double upgrades on the way. Going up to 5 barracks. Stim is, of course, started, but shields has not just yet. So he's going to need to go shields, concussive. Needs to get an armory so he can start 2-2 and just kind of very slowly move out towards a 3rd base. herO, as I said, dawdling on his own 4th base. But now that he's seen kind of like a pretty defensive set, he even sees turrets being built there and these Marines as well. The DT is just going to slice and dice a couple of those Marines. Is there no scans available? Looks like he doesn't have a scan, so the DT kills 4 Marines before it goes down. Not bad, not bad. Obviously, it's not exactly cost efficient, but you don't need to be exactly cost efficient when you're going up to 4 bases versus a 2-base opponent. A Zealot drop will move down the left side of the map. As long as he avoids that turret, he could do some very good trades. The armory hasn't gone down just yet here for Maru. And if he wants to start that 2-2, he will need it. But shields and concussive takes up a lot of gas in of itself. 4th base is there. 66 probes. So herO is not playing the giant smothering economy. He's saying, look, 66 probes versus a 2-base player is more than enough. I would argue he should know that there's a 3rd command center in the back, but because he hasn't actually seen it, he's kind of in the mindset of like, oh, this could still be a big all-in. So I've got to make lots of zealots, sentries. I've got to set up ready for the backstabs with the zealots and the DTs, the prism drop to go in the main. And he's going to find out soon that there is actually a 3rd base, but this is one of those things where it's kind of glorious that Maru has hidden that information for him for this long and put just a little bit of doubt in herO's mind about what the next step is. 2nd Forge, as well as Colossus Tech on the way here for herO. Zealot's trying to run in the left side. He goes for the Zealot drop in the main as well. The Zealot drop in the main is going to be very effective, I believe. Already gets a few SCVs. Oh, the Widow Mines, though, do manage to root. Zealot's running on the front. Looks like they do get defended, and they just pull back from there. Sorry, guys. Been on holiday. Me observing is a little bit rusty. First day and first series back, in fact. Been away in America for a few weeks on holiday. Oh, looks like maybe just a mule expired there, but 3 SCVs going down. I do feel like herO needs to get a move on with going to that next step. The supply is way too close considering how much map control he's had. There we go. 5th base, 2nd robo, double upgrades. I mean, this is all good stuff for him. And Maru, I think, also playing very wisely, is just like turtle, 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 turtle. Notice his tank positioning is very conservative as well. These tanks will never get cleared unless somehow zealots in the main run over on top of them. And he's going to build extra turrets to zone that out as well. So very unlikely that that those siege tanks ever go down in the high ground. This one also pretty far back. This one at the very front, obviously more exposed, but at least gives you some reach in front of your bases. You've got Widow Mines to deal with big zealot attacks as well. He's got to be real careful of that ramp. If you get force fielded there, herO's going to pick those units off really easily. herO's building gateways there. He's got a prism now going down the bottom right. This is an angle which players do not use often enough. This bottom angle on the back of the natural expansion is very rarely utilized. Terrans always build a lot of anti-air in the main. Very rarely do they build much on the back of their natural. Starting to break down the front. Warp Prism speed is on the way as well for herO. That 5th base with batteries and cannons going up on it. I'm not so sure about the batteries and cannons. It's good insurance in case the fighting does come back to your side of the map. But right now, he's got complete map control, and I think actually pushing into Maru's territory seems to be the focus. Here we go. herO does a Zealot drop there on the natural. He's going to take out a few SCVs. A little bit more focus fire there. Could have been good. Zealots run in the left side and get hammered by the Widow Mines. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, we just lost a Warp Prism and about 15 Zealots for 2 SCVs. That was not a good fight. herO is now at 5k resources lost versus 2k. And you know what? That's a big problem because he will have moments to smother his opponent, but he's got to pick it well. He has to pick it well. There's command centers coming up. If he lets Maru just take a fourth, get a planetary made, spread defenses around it with Widow Mines and tanks, it's going to be very hard to break that. So herO needs to be ready for when Maru starts on sieging and moving forward. That's when you're going to have your opportunity. But you can tell that herO right now is antsy. He's got ants in his pants. He's ants in his pants, herO. And he's just like, give me an opportunity. Give me an opportunity. Let's go, go, go. Let's go, go, go. You know, he just wants to kill. And it's good to have some urgency, but you've also got to be a little bit chilled out at the same time. Mass DTs coming in. He's warping in 7 DTs on the left side. So he's going to try and do DTs on the left and the rest of the Colossus Zealot Stalker army with, of course, some sentries on the right. He's got pretty good upgrades. +2 attack just kicked in. +3 attack starts. +2 armors on the way. So he's going to be, you know, the upgrades are actually even this time around, unlike game one. But, this is what I was talking about. He can't let Maru get established. This is his opportunity. If he attacks it now, he might be able to bust it. But, look at that. Zoning EMP gets a lot of shields off him, as well as all the energy off those sentries. DTs are going to run in the left side. Oh, the DTs get hammered. Okay, some of them did manage to blink. One tank goes down. A second tank goes down. And third tank dies to the siege tank. Friendly fire. So he does take out 3 tanks. He comes forward. Oh, my God. The Widow Mines slay his Zealot front line. He does get rid of 2 libs. But definitely not finding his way in. And with the planetary now starting to erect on that 4th base, feels like Maru is getting this position set up. He's only got, he's got 5 tanks. Okay. He's got 3 tanks on the right, 1 tank in the middle. Oh, with these tanks covering, I don't think you can push in because you've got 2 tanks and a giant Arca bio, and he's moving more tanks forward as well. And he's continuing tank production. So the reason tanks are so powerful is when they're shooting Stalkers and Colossus, they do 70 damage, splash damage, and everything kind of clumps up a lot for the Protoss. So they're so long ranged as well. You take that ranged advantage and edge away from the Colossus style army. The Stalkers coming forward, as do the Disruptors, but Interference Matrix locks the Disruptor down. The other one gets shut down as well. And you can see that army does take a bit of a beating. herO keeping his expensive units alive. He's at 10,000 resources lost versus 5,000. He's taking a 6th base in the top left as well. Maru is going air weapon upgrades. He is looking to get the insane Liberator efficiency. Tanks, bio, ghosts. He's got +3 attack and +2 armor on his infantry coming in. He's adding a lot more orbitals as well. So Maru is really preparing to just have unlimited scans to track where the army is, to see where the DTs are, all this sort of good stuff. Comes forward, gets rid of an observer. And look at that. Anytime he comes into tank range, those tanks will smash those Stalkers. I can't believe it, dude. Maru was on 27 SCVs versus, I think, 42 probes in the early game. Down 15 workers, basically when his expansion was barely mining. Oh! herO, what the hell? herO getting a little bit excited there. Unable to contain his excitement and just barrels into a terrible position with a blink forward. Does end up pulling out of there before losing too many units. But you can see, I mean, it's another 2,000 resources lost for him for nothing. And he's got the money to spare, but he's got to find his way in. And look at this tank positioning. Look at this tank. You can see all these white lines overlapping on that bridge. That's just a no-go zone. This left side, 3 tanks, 3 Widow Mines, a pack of Bio Ghost. That's a no-go zone. The left side, turreted up. That's a no-go zone. Turrets on the right. That's a no-go zone. I'm like, they're all no-go zones. I don't know how he can break it. Okay, I like this. This is something he could have been doing a long time ago. For those who don't know, Disruptors outrange every unit Maru has. He could easily just kill the Sensor Tower for free, but he actually only now has got 3 Disruptors, and he's not even building any more. All of his resupplying is Zealots and Stalkers. Notice he's on 16 gateways. He's got great upgrades, which is good. 3-2 with shields now starting up as well. But the problem is, like, hey, why weren't we picking off these sensor towers and these turrets and these tanks from far away with the Disruptors before? Even there, just kill the turret and then walk away. herO, it feels like he wants to get the instant damage. He wants to win the game. And as a result, he's almost blind to the fact that he could be getting free damage and efficiency off these Disruptors. Whenever the Terran is camped up like this, especially before he has lib range, you can just basically pick things off for free with those Disruptors. And herO not taking advantage of that, only now building a 3rd robotics facility. I do love that he's building it. I talk a lot about how in late game, players don't build enough robos. If you get to 3 or 4 robos, you can really utilize your bank to remax if you mess up a fight. Oh my god, the Zealots! Oh man! Gets a Liberator for like another big pack of Zealots. And now he's killing his own Colossus! Oh wow, herO kills his own Colossus, but he's not even maxed. And he makes 12 Stalkers. Is it? I mean, okay, to be fair, the 5th Colossus is always stuck behind the other ones, not really shooting. So I think that was a conscious choice there. Ooh. Dude, once again, come forward with those Disruptors. herO, you can tell herO is just not used to being in such a slow static situation. And Maru is. Maru's going to look for the efficiency in the long run defensive camping war. He's just adding mass orbitals. He's going to build another planetary here. The only problem Maru has is really when he takes his next base. Remember, herO kind of let him get this fourth established, I wouldn't say for free, but a bit too easily. And look at this, command center's going up there. herO should not be letting these build. They're built in such an exposed position. They're not fully covered by tanks and libs. Vikings could push him back. There's a tank on the left as well, but yeah, he's gonna chip away, cancel these. So this is good free damage, man. Get that free damage. Get on up there. Tanks and Vikings as well as a few Marauders come forward. Maru's trying to build this situation up. He's going to try and float a command center left, so that makes no sense. So this is what I was talking about. Maru's biggest mistake in Terrans in general in late game is when they have a nice area locked down, trying to like expand in secret. And this works versus low-level players, but versus a top-level guy like herO, all you're doing is giving him a new angle of attack to get efficient fights. What's winning you this game as Maru is defending in choke points, defending with nice setup areas. So he's got to be very careful about which base he wants to take. I think the bottom right is simply the better base to take, but whichever one he chooses to, he's got to slowly and methodically shift his defenses over there, his siege units, and get that one going. He's going to deep power this with a big stim forward, but herO with a nice recall. Oh, herO's going to catch that army! Oh, good pickup micro, though. Gets most of those units out. Maru evades a very dangerous situation. Looks like maybe a zealot or something ran in there. Tanks are still defending that side. The disruptors, where's that efficiency? This is what I'm talking about. He could have been doing this so long ago. Gets a sensor tower, maybe a widow mine in there as well. Damages the turret. He can keep doing that for days. But this siege tank is getting some good shots off. And now planetaries are starting to erect themselves in the middle of the map. Maru needs to get over there and start repairing with a few more of these SCVs. Disruptor shot hitting the tank, but oof. The libs are doing great damage there as well. Lib range has been upgraded, so the libs do have more range now. It looks like he's clearing out a bunch of zealots and stuff to build more disruptors. herO's realizing disruptors outrange the army. Let's use it. He's coming to the realization, though, slowly. This was never the plan. herO would like to win the game right here, right now. He's going to go for it. Maru, though, has an anti-armor missile. He's got these two tanks very exposed right now, but the Raven does spot the Dark Templar. They go down. If Maru can just cement this command center as a planetary and then slowly inch more units over here, he'll be good. I don't think he needs two libs on the left. I think tanks and a planetary already makes that a very difficult area. And I think as Maru just patiently shift over to this base, but don't expose yourself. You know, you got to be careful. Here we go. Okay, leaving the libs there apparently was a good idea. +3 ship weapons is on the way as well. Nuke does land on the right side, clears up all the cannons and batteries. He's going to try and push forward his herO, but I don't know if that's the right call. He's going to go for it! Vikings and Ravens are nearby, ghost dropping EMPs. Siege tanks shelling on the Stalkers. The command center does not get picked off. Maru keeps it alive. He's lifting it off, and he's going to deny the bottom right side base. The unit's lost time is out of this world. herO with absolute map dominance, but against a player who is turtling up and patiently knuckling down his defenses. Finally, Disruptors at least get rid of a siege tank. Oh, he does get another Marauder or two there as well. But as long as Maru just keeps shifting over these tanks, and most importantly, keeps up his Liberator production, because I think they're his biggest asset right now. There we go, 4 libs in production. I think if he can keep up about 8 or 9 Liberators, that would be fantastic. He's heavy on the Vikings. Oh my god, herO shoving in. Maru's a bit clumped up here. He's got to fall back from this position. Oh, the Disruptors, great angling. They get a bunch of the ghosts and those units out, and this means the command centers are exposed in the bottom right side of the map. So this is a huge win for herO, evicting Maru from this position. Maru needed to keep his bio kind of spread out in front of those siege tanks, but those tanks just dropped too quickly. With only 2 tanks, no Liberators overhead, seems like herO found a moment of weakness in Maru's setup where he just did not have enough siege units in position. herO right now going for +3 plasma shields, the final upgrade for his ground units. Liberators coming forward as well as the bio ghost. Oh, he's just gonna blink on it. The Mad Lad Mass Disruptor shoves back the ground army. herO with a crazy engagement, but oh my god, it backfires horribly. Oh, his supply got hammered. I mean, I say it backfires, but look at the remax. 10 Stalkers, 5 Zealots, 2 more Disruptors coming. He might be able to, as long as he denies the 5th. This is worth it. He's currently blocking the base. Maru wants to get rid of that command center. Maru has to be wary because I'm telling you, dude, herO is remaxing so darned quickly. It is ridiculous. herO's looking for that ghost. He can't see it, though. Don't know if he's using my graphic settings or not. Disruptor does damage a siege tank. Another one goes down. Disruptor does fall in return for that. 2-to-1 cost efficiency. The zoning nuke for Maru going to allow him to take this base. herO is starting to mine out right now. His income is still a lot higher than Maru, simply because Maru's only really mining a few minerals left on these bases. He needs this base desperately. If herO can deny that, he's got it. herO finally changes up the angle, goes for Zealots on the left side. The tanks are left unguarded. Where's the Widow Mines? The Widow Mines are no longer here, no bio, and tanks on their own do not do well versus Zealots unless they are supported by wall-offs. And look at that, he evicts the command center on the right side. herO finds an opening here, and just creating so much pressure on this bottom right. It meant that Maru ignored the left side. He's now making a planetary there, but the next wave's going to get there before that planetary is up. Disruptors are still going forward, looking for those shots. Stalkers grab a lib. They're going to grab a second Liberator. Nice moves here by herO. Yes, he's losing units on the retreat as well. Those libs are absolutely deadly, but it's not the most mobile army in the world. These Liberators very fancy to manage. And you got to keep some bio ghost over there. Oh no! He got distracted by the big Zealot run by on the left. And herO is going to shove in and take out all of these siege units. The planetary will defend, but it already did its job. Look, he pulled the mobile army to the left side, and that was a big mistake for Maru. This is what I'm talking about with when you take a new base, that's when you're exposed as a Terran player with this turtle style. And you can see here, look at that mass blink DT Zealot coming in on that left side. And Maru just doesn't have anything over there. He needed a few Widow Mines or to get a full wall off up or something like that. But now he's losing an orbital and a planetary, and herO so inefficient. I would say so patient looking for the opening, but he wasn't patient, was he? He was so savagely aggressive. He basically tried to shank Maru 14 times in a row. The first 13 times his shank landed in the Kevlar body vest of Maru. The 14th time he finally gets it in between the cracks and slides it into his kidneys. And Maru now losing his planetary up the guts as well. He's got the command center in the bottom right. But the thing is, notice the way herO is working this left angle, threatening the natural and the production. Maru has to defend that, but at the same time, he's going to rotate to the right with a lovely army split. And oh, the DTs are going to blink into the main. Oh, that is going to be so hard to deal with. That's so many DTs, so much firepower. Maru, what can he do to deal with that? A lot of his army's in Vikings, which are no longer useful. He still has 14 Vikings, which to be fair is way too many. I think he kept expecting an air swap from herO, and the air swap never came. This is the classic, well, I mean, we know you need to play air in late game, says Maru, so I've anticipated that by keeping a good Viking count, so I'm ready for it. herO's like, lol, ground forever, bitch. And apparently it's working, because Maru just a bit too heavy in those Vikings. Look, he's got to land them to deal with these DTs. The DTs have already torn down a lot of the production. This army moving around, the Disruptors zoning him out. And oh my god, herO, look at the way he's done this. The Disruptors can zone that ground army out all day long. And he gets rid of this planetary as well. The DTs are taking out starports in the natural, as well as command centers. The Stalker's going to blink to the left side, take out these libs. The Colossus will fall to the Vikings. The Liberators, the Ghost trying to get back here, but chasing into Disruptors absolutely sucks balls as a move, both literally and figuratively. The Disruptors, oh man, beautiful dodges by Maru. But herO's just got that position. Extricates himself out of trouble, waits for the anti-armor missile to wear off that DT. Finally, the last DT goes down. And this base in the bottom right, it's Maru's lifeline. It is but a thread. And I think herO's got the scissors. The scissors indeed come in. A 13 Dark Templar warp in on the right side. And I mean, I'm sure there's people like, wow, this is unfair. herO just has unlimited units. This is so silly. This is what Protoss does. Guys, he was up 4 bases versus 2 in the early game. The fact that Maru made it this long in this game is a testament to Maru's just absolute refusal to die in StarCraft. But we've got to also admit the fact that, you know, herO was miles ahead for so long, and eventually he does get the win. Eventually, he's got this one in the bag. The DT's coming in on the right, the Disruptor's going around. I think this could have been a much more dominating finish if herO had swapped into those Disruptors earlier and started using them to just chip away. You notice that once he started using those Disruptors, especially picking off the sensor towers and the siege tanks from afar, started to get really good value. But, I mean, the way Maru just drags his way into the late game like that, fantastic. And I gotta say, if there was a wall off or a planetary on that left side, so those Zealots weren't able to get in, I think this would be a very different story. I think this Zealot run by really was such a big game changer. Just tanks seem really good versus Stalkers and so on, but without a wall off or anything, the Zealot warp in comes in here at about 21 minutes. And herO hadn't tried or tested this left angle for so many minutes. So Maru had almost forgotten about this as an option. You could tell he was planning to make a planetary, but he was so distracted on the right side, he never started. If that planetary was finished, this is an entirely different game. Because all the Zealots would just aggro onto that, they'd die. fighting it, and these tanks would survive, but instead the army gets pulled to the left, the command center goes down. Instead, the Liberators would have probably already been sieging here, saving this command center, or at least holding the position. It's a rough turning point for Maru. He did 99% of getting himself out of the grave, but then he leaves that left flank open to the Zealots. Very well played by herO, ties up the series. All right, well, that last game started terribly, but this time building a barracks inside his base. He's not going to get this one cancelled. Maru going for a double gas opening, similar to game one. Went well for him there. Why not try it again? His opponent in the top right, though, is going to be opening with a Zealot pressure. That's why the gateway is here, so it can get across the map very quickly. herO. Of course, Onside Gaming up against... herO's on Dragon Phoenix Gaming, right? Twitch chat, please confirm. I always get confused when I'm like, why don't they have the clan tags on? But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's on Dragon Phoenix Gaming. herO's already got 3 workers on gas, so he's pulled one off. So is he going to go... It's interesting that he would prioritize gas this hard. Oh, is he going to go the 3-gate build again? And he really wants to get Warp Gate and a Stalker straight away? Or like Warp Gate and an Adept maybe. Interesting. Zealot's coming out. Oh, he should have rallied it to the left and then down, because you could see the Zealot popped out on the wrong side. He's going to delay that a little bit. Reaper's on the way, factory, and pulls a worker off each gas once the factory starts. Tells us Maru wants to expand. He's not doing some wild one-base rush. Chronoing an Adept, Warp Gate, and a Nexus goes down. So indeed it is a pretty delayed Nexus. Excuse me, but a very quick Adept coming across the map. And I do... If you see a probe move out to go and build that pylon on the other side of the map, that's when you know that 3-gate's coming again. Because notice he's still only on 1 gas, guys. So yeah, I think he's definitely going to build a 2nd and a 3rd gateway. Zealot's going to arrive. That reactor is almost finished. You cannot repair a reactor while it's building. So he's going to have to pull 3 or 4 SCVs, and well, probably 2 or 3, and immediately repair that. He's got to pull up now, though. The Adept's already almost there. Maru, got to be careful. He's going to go in with the Reaper. He's going to try and pull this pressure home. But that reactor's getting dangerously low. That's a very expensive structure. You cannot be affording to lose that one. He's going to start repairing it. Meanwhile, Reaper in the main goes in, doesn't get a probe. And oh, did he not lose it? Oh, no, the Reaper goes down. That is a disaster for Maru. And he pulls back the SCVs on red hit points, but he doesn't actually pull the new SCVs in time. Maru fumbles in the high pressure moment. You know, we think of Maru as being a mechanical god, but even gods bleed and make mistakes sometimes. Great SCV micro. I gotta say, to keep all these SCVs alive has been amazing, but you do not want to lose these Marines. And already these guys are damaged, which means Stalkers and Adepts following up will kill them very easily. Speaking of which, an Adept and a Stalker are about to arrive. There is a probe coming across the map as well, and that 2nd and 3rd gateway are building. Now, Maru knows this is coming because he scouted with a Reaper and saw 1 gas, but has he really processed what's happening? I don't know. Oh, and he's supply blocked right now. Oh my god, he's supply blocked right now. For a long time, that factory's not producing. He's trying to rebuild a reactor. He doesn't have a bunker up. He thought it was just a Zealot and an Adept. He thought the pressure was over. 2 Hellions. He's trying to build a 3rd one here. Not the best units for dealing with Stalkers. If there's a triple Stalker warp in on the front, he can't really do much against that. 2 Marines do start a medevac, another Hellion coming in. Maru's kind of thinking about the counter pressure. I think he wants to do a Hellion drop while defending with Marines. Problem for him, 3 Stalkers warping, and that's going to bring up to 5 Stalkers and an Adept, and the Adept can spot the high ground with the Shade. Hellions come down, they take a hit to the face. There's no siege tank here. The Tech Lab's building, but it's not ready. Finally, more Marines coming out. But dude, that reactor is very exposed. The Adepts and the Stalkers come forward. Oh, nice pickup by Maru, but the medevac does take a volley, and that means you can't do any more of that. Already 2 Hellions going down for 1 Adept, not to mention the SCVs being forced to pull here. Does go forward, focuses down one of these Marines. herO just has a far superior force. There's so little damage output here for Maru. Maru losing that reactor was an absolute disaster in this game. He's going to try and just focus down these Stalkers as they shove the ramp. herO not taking a very efficient fight in terms of like that, but he says, I've got the numbers. I can afford to take a not that efficient fight. I don't care. He brings in even a Zealot here to get some more damage on this depot. That depot dangerously low and it falls. Maru taking so much damage, he goes for the drill. He says, Drilly boys, assemble, taste my drill. It's large, it's thick, and it does grind into these Stalkers, but they can handle it. Stalkers are just so much beefier than these small Terran units. These Terran units cost only a fraction. That is a vast amount of resources represented in herO's army. But finally, the siege tank comes up and stabilizes things. This is actually a huge moment to hold for Maru. But it's huge in that he manages to survive. And that's all he manages to do. 42 probes to 27 SCVs. And I know that there's a lot of players that look at that like, man, well, what could Maru have done better? But it's all about that reactor. You need to pull extra SCVs. So as you pull back the weak ones, you can keep repairing it. He needed to keep that alive. And he also needed to get, I don't know if his SCV died on the command center or what, or his command center was late, but that supply block on 31 was nasty. You combine that with the fact that he also lost the Reaper. I mean, that's really bad for Maru. It's 3 different things that went wrong. And you could argue all of them could have been fixed with just being a little tighter on the build or a little tighter with his micro, that sort of stuff. Now he finds himself drastically behind, and I feel like this is going to be yet another game. Game 3 of 3, where Maru is basically just resigning himself to turtling up and trying to survive. Now, game 1, it worked out because he never took the big damage, right? Even though there was a gold base, he was like, yeah, I have a quick 3rd command center. You don't know I have the command center. I mean, this is yet another game where herO doesn't really have information about, is it extra barracks? Is it going to be, you know, an extra command center? What's going on? But Maru is pretty much dead in the water, and herO has played exceptionally safe in these games. It's almost been his downfall. But here on Waterfall, I mean, you have to play safe. He's going Immortals, Sentries, Charge Zealots. And if he just does that off 3 bases, that should be a good army for defending. He's got 4 gases, so he can also add Archons as well. So yeah, it's going to be Archon Immortal. I mean, he could play Storm, and that would be amazing at stopping this sort of push. You can Interference Matrix the Raven. Oh, the Observer comes in, sees the Raven, and quickly runs away. He doesn't want to lose that. Yeah, you can feedback the Raven, storm the Marines, and then Zealots can clear everything else. Or you can just go Immortal Charge Lord Archon, and I think with the early Sentries, that's more likely. We'll find out in a moment. Massive advantage for herO in this game. I think the main thing is because there will be a moment, maybe 1 minute from now, 8 minutes, there's going to be about 30 Marines with stim shields +1, bunch of Marauders, bunch of siege tanks. That's a scary army, especially if an anti-armor missile lands. So you want to be backstabbing with Zealots. So I think even now, herO, he's got a Warp Prism there. Yeah, he definitely wants to do a counter Zealot drop. Maybe even have a few Zealots over here to run into the natural. Because your Sentries with Force Fields plus some Immortal Archon can defend against a tank bio army by splitting it up and gunning down those units. The problem is, if the tank army slowly sieges forward and engages methodically, they can out-micro an Immortal Archon army. An Immortal Archon army doesn't have the range of like Colossus or Disruptors or anything like that. So it is an army which basically can get just kited down by tanks and stim bio being stutter stepped very well. And that's what's scary. There is no Storm on the way. herO's on 61 probes. He's got a giant economy lead. I don't think he needs a 4th base. I think he just needs to mass units. 3rd command center starting at 8 minutes. I mean, this is clearly a giant attack that could move out. But because he hasn't really had the scouting... Actually, no, he saw the 2 barracks. I mean, he knows this has to be an attack. And there we go. Maru's moving out with a bunch of units. He's got a double drop down there. Oh, so that's a feint. He's trying to pull herO into the middle of the map. He's going to go for a double drop down the right side. Very smart move here. If he can catch herO out of position, that can be big. Widowmine gets a Stalker kill. Well worth it there for Maru. Blinks on the way. 3 Immortals, 2 Archons, 4 Stalkers, 14 Zealots, and 3 Sentries. There is going to be a very deadly Warp Prism drop. That's going to cause Maru to be pretty all in. Instant recall here for herO. And warping in 4 Stalkers. The battery will go down. That Widowmine gets a Sentry. Another one gets very low. Ooh, and he should get one of these medevacs. Oh, 3 hit points. You're kidding me. Meanwhile, looks like the units are coming forth in the middle. herO's there with Immortal Zealot Archon Stalker. The bio tank is having to run home right now. Maru scrambling home because the Zealots are on top of his face. Oh, this is so good for buying time. It looks like he maybe cleared a siege tank out there as well that was stuck sieged up on the front. Oh, he's going to warp in an Archon in the base. You absolute savage. herO trying to jump on these retreating units and catch them piecemeal. Doesn't quite manage to get it. He's building more probes in a 4th base. He does see the 3rd command centers there. He feels like he's already held this, but with no Storm or Colossus, there is always a way it could turn around. herO. Okay, he's still warping in. That doesn't make any sense. This warp in is a herO warp in. Luckily for him, Maru Interference Matrices cancels the warp in and he gets a refund. So Maru actually saved him from making an even worse decision there. 13 SCVs do go down. I mean, yeah, herO is so far out. He's making Storm and a new Warp Prism right now. He's also got a Contain on the ramp. He can force field the army. If Maru walks down that ramp, he's going to get his army split and butchered by the Immortal Force Field. Oh! Okay, quick reaction. He reacts faster than herO. Manages to pull back up the ramp, and the tanks should be able to escort him down. Now, one problem is the Forge has only just started, so there's no upgrades for the Protoss army. I don't think that matters. I think it's way more important to go Robo Bay, 6 gases, and go up to like Disruptors, or Colossus would be even better here. As it is, he's saying, just Zealot, Storm. I got 3 Immortal Sentries. I can do it with that. But Ghosts are being added. Yes, there's a 3rd command center, but I would still call this almost a 2-base all-in simply because Maru's worker count sucks so much. It's so low. He's on 47 versus 75. I mean, herO has a 4th. He's got the 2 gases there. How many High Templar we got? 3 High Templar is not very many. I do think he should definitely have a few more High Templar. If he loses that Warp Prism, he loses almost all of his range splash damage. He does hallucinate a Colossus, which is very cute. Coming on forward, the Widowmine's getting some big juicies. Oh, herO, put it back in your pants. Big storm! Massive storm on the bio, but he's shoving into a crazy choke point. He does get rid of most of the tanks. One tank still survives there. Uh-oh. Oh, great storm. Okay, herO needs to get out of there, though. He needs to run. herO is still acting... Okay, herO just lost a lot of units. Okay, he cannot chase up that ramp. The army's very wounded, but it's still a very bad ramp to attack into. herO is going for double Forge, double Robo Bay behind this. I mean, he takes some really awkward trades. I think it's fine because he's got forward position. He's not remaking High Templar, though. herO needs to remake High Templar right now. This is one of my biggest pet peeves. Pro players do this all the time, where they just don't make extra High Templar to have Storm Energy. Right now, he's only got 2. It's his only real splash damage right now, and only 2 High Templar. And when you've got the Warp Prism, that's very reliable. There's no Vikings out. The first one's about to pop. I mean, this is... Okay, second one, sorry, about to pop. It's not a great army for Maru. Maru's essentially on a very delayed 2-base all-in. Yes, he's landing a 3rd, but as I said, his economy appallingly bad compared to the 83 probes of herO. herO, good micro on the Zealot run by. Gets a stim out of the whole Terran army and just runs away. And he could just keep threatening with these. Adding Colossus now as he's got double Robo. He's got his +1 attack on the way. I mean, herO's getting all the pieces of a proper macro game. Storm Drop on the left side. A bit of a crazy move. Loses all those Zealots. herO is getting very fancy. This is what he does so well. He's now starting Disruptors. I do think Colossus would be a better call, but with already 1 or 2 Vikings on the field, I can understand him wanting to bypass that. He doesn't want the Vikings to be too strong. Archons are morphing up. He's got 4 High Templar there, but his Prism is very damaged, so he's just going to put 2 High Templar inside that. And here comes the giant push for Maru. It's desperate, dude. Maru's been so behind for so long, but he has a very scary army. The Prism goes down. The Psy Storm was not that big. That Psy Storm only really hits 1 or 2 ghosts. There are Disruptors, though. They could be the game changers. Maru actually has a massive army advantage. Can you believe it? This is absolutely ridiculous. herO is way down on army, but the battery overcharge coming in. That is going to be really big. He's got to click that battery overcharge, does Maru. Big Zealot flank comes in from behind. The Immortals are so low, but they're not quite going down. 1 Immortal falls. Disruptors are exposed up front. The Zealots are there. Ghost coming in from the back as well. The Medivacs are all out of energy right now. I don't know if he accidentally EMP'd them or if he's just been healing for so much that they've all run out. But either way, the Disruptors are now recharged on the right side. He's got a probe pull. I don't know if that's the way to do it. The Disruptors run in and get stomped on by Maru. Maru killing so many probes. Oh my god. Maru realizes he's got to win the game right now. There is a reason why the boys were pulled. There is a reason why he is so desperately trying to force the issue right now. It's because he cannot let herO exist on this 4-5 base economy for much longer. The batteries and the cannons are stalling him out a little bit. The Robo Bay is very exposed at the front. Much more Zealots are coming in though. 10-gate Zealot Warpins, +1 attack for the Protoss, 1-1 for the Terran. But the Terran army is looking like dregs. I think Maru might just have been held, but oh my god, the Disruptors. That one. Not okay, gets just a single Marine. Not too bad. That one, though. Ooh, gets a Ghost. Not bad. Maru still has an army that can out-micro this for days. The Disruptor shots are usually the saving grace here. Oh, the Interference Matrix went down on the wrong Disruptor there, and he does take a Disruptor shot to the face. The Zealot Immortal Stalker coming forward. Does Maru have enough? He's landing EMPs on the Zealots. He's trying to stutter step away, but there's so many Zealots coming in, and a Disruptor shot to seal the deal. herO does manage to convert yet again. herO makes it look so bloody scary from being so far ahead to almost dying. But oh my lord, that was what we have to go back and check that final push. That was crazy because that was actually so close to being a Maru 2-1 situation. Like, let's look at what happened here. So looks like his Medivacs are just out of energy from stimming so much already. Yeah, even when he moves across the map, his Medivacs are dry. Oh, that's a real problem, man. I'm telling you, man. Drier than a lady after a pickup artist drops some of his negging maneuvers, you know. That there is not a lot of energy, and he's kind of stimming and spreading and stuff. And the Storms do buy a little bit of time. That's a great Disruptor shot. 4 Marines and a Marauder. His Archon goes down. So this is where I want to slow things right down. And he's like, okay, go. I gotta win. You know, I gotta go right now. He did need to click this battery overcharge. For those who don't know, if a battery overcharge is allowed to heal for its entire duration, without getting shot down. It can heal, I believe it's 3.5 Archons worth of shields. So it's something like 1,200 shields. It's like having 3 extra Archons in front of your army. 3 or 3.5. I can't remember the exact stats on it. I did the maths a while ago. You guys can clarify the exact numbers in the comments. But yeah, great Zealot flank. He did need to click the shield battery, but it's still like, it's just hard to win the game here because he doesn't have tanks or libs. He doesn't have any medevac healing. You really want to just catch him when the disruptors are low, because there's so many disruptors popping out, so many zealots. You want to just get in and win the game. But this zealot flank from behind does really well. Stalkers kind of blink to the right to help get some more firing angle and really use that battery overcharge. And these disruptors just sitting there this whole time. And look, he's EMPing like the Stalkers. The battery's just healing it right back up. That one hero battery definitely saved the day. It's rare you see a shield battery make that big of a difference this late in the game. Normally they just get targeted down very quickly. And this probe pool kind of seemed terrible, to be honest, and the disruptor micro was definitely not great. But he just had enough stuff anyway. He's got... Can we just give a testament to how stupid hero's follow-ups for one moment? I love hero, guys. I love hero. But he's got 1 forge, 2 forge, 3 forges. And I guarantee you that was not on purpose. There is no reason to go 3 forges. But he forgot he'd already built one. And then he went double forge. I bet it was something like that. And he was like, I might as well use it because I have so much money. I think Hero looks back on this game and is like, yeah, I probably should have had like 12 gateways instead of a 3rd forge. I probably should have had the robo transition a little bit faster or an extra high Templar with energy in reserve or something. Triple forge is the dumbest thing. The thing is, like, even you invest so much, it takes so long to kick in, and when it kicks in, your units get EMP'd and it does nothing in the battle itself anyway. This is a patently ridiculous upgrade for Hero to get here. GG though, hero gets the win. Fantastic opening, and like I said, what really this game hinged on was him not repairing the reactor being the most important thing. Maru focusing on that was the biggest issue that he made here. He tried to say, oh, I'll distract you with the Reaper, I'll pull SCVs, and he just mismanaged a very intense micro situation ever so slightly, where number one, the SCVs should have already been pulled so he has more time, and you should pull 3 or 4 SCVs so that as the Adept focuses them down and you pull back the weak ones as they take the second shot, don't let him finish them off. Bam, 2 more SCVs cycle on. Hellion defends this. It's an entirely different game. Also, if your Reaper doesn't die, but he loses the Reaper and the Reactor. I mean, this is just a massive disaster. His command set is also not going to finish in time, so he gets supply blocked here. I think he was meant to build a 3rd depot and he just forgot it. I'm not really sure. Maybe he was going to be building add-ons at this time normally, so he wouldn't have been supply blocked, but definitely seems like Maru made a few mistakes this game. GG, well played. Hero takes the 2-1 lead. All right, well, he takes the lead here after a crushing pressure. Zealot and Adept into a 3-gate follow-up. Devastating opening for Hero. Let's see if he goes for it again. The 3-gate worked well for him a couple games in a row now. Got him massive damage on Inside Out and on Waterfall, both kind of smaller maps. But I imagine on a bigger map that he will probably change things up. Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Hero in the left side, and Onside Gaming's Maru in the right side of the map. I'll admit that I was watching this event live in Atlanta, for those who don't know, and it was an absolutely electric atmosphere. But I got to meet the team owner of Onside Gaming, a lovely guy, August, and real legend, supporting players like Neeb, Maru, Solar, and he hooked me up with an Onside hoodie. So even while, I'm sorry August, I was cheering for Hero when I was watching this live. I love Maru, but I like that no matter how his opponents play, I feel like it's always an exciting series when you got Hero involved. I feel like Hero, I think my favorite players to watch are Hero, Reyna, Dark, and who's my favorite Terran, actually? I don't even know who my favorite Terran is. I think Bunny's actually really exciting right now. It's cool to see him making some waves. But they make it so exciting. So I was wearing an Onside Gaming hoodie while cheering for Hero in this exact series. But it's always that thing where I'm like 52% cheering for Hero, 48 for Maru. Maru, I think, I don't like his style in TvT so much because he's too good at it and too defensive. It's kind of like Cyril in 2018. It's a bit like, oh god, you just can't kill him. But I love the matchup between these two players because you've got Hero that's going to be aggressive and try and throw you off your game. And that matches up so well against the way Maru can just play the best late game in the world, and there's always that timer on you. If you let it go too long, Maru will crush you in the late game. So I think what for me is so exciting is you match these two together and you see great defense versus great offense. Sometimes when you see two very offensive players, it looks a little bit like a clown fiesta, a bit of a circus show, because there's just, you know, big wild swinging punches. Seems a bit random almost who connects. Whereas with one, and same with two defenders, it can be a bit static and slow as both players just defend, and they're circling and just looking for their openings and not really getting it. But you put an aggressive versus a defensive player, guaranteed to have a good dynamic between the two. Oh, Maru goes a bit deep there, and he's going to give away the Reaper for it. Not his best move. What? So he sees the Stargate. herO says, oh yeah, you're expecting a Stargate. You're going to make a Cyclone. I'm going to counter that with a Void Ray. What? Oh my god, this is so dumb. Okay, the last time we saw this was on Blackburn. Zest tried this against Maru. Was it a grand finals or a semi-finals? And it got completely shut down and looked like total trash. I've seen it work one game out of about 5 games in pro matches with people who've used it. Where basically the Void, it was like a Void Ray, yeah, Void Ray and a bunch of Gateway units. You just try to like bust them basically. And I mean, the whole idea is a Void Ray does kill Cyclones and Vikings really quickly if it can get on top of them. But that kind of relies on you catching him not looking. Unless Phoenix. Oh, okay. Okay, so hero's going to dive in with the Void Ray, pick up the Cyclone so it can't move with the Phoenix, and the Void Ray is just going to obliterate it. This is actually really good. He's going to look to overwhelm the Cyclone Viking defense of Maru. But if Maru keeps building Vikings and Cyclones, he's screwed. Maru's not continuing production, though. This is really good. This is what herO is banking on. herO is banking on there only being one Cyclone and one Viking. Where's that Widow Mine, by the way? Okay, so he's put the Widow Mine here. That's kind of cute. You don't expect the Widow Mine there. Could maybe catch one of these units as it flies through. Pylon on the front. We've got 2 Phoenix, a Void Ray, and 2 Adepts. 3rd Adept coming out, and he's going to make it even more. And you know what? He's going Raven, which is really bad versus Phoenix. This is kind of ideal. Oh, no, but he shades in. And he didn't realize there was a Cyclone out on the left side. 2 Adepts already go down. Widowmine already fires on the Void Ray. A Phoenix goes down. The Void Ray has to retreat on red hit points. Oh, no, this is a disaster. The Void Ray gets shot down without landing any damage. A Stalker goes down. He finds the Gateway. And that is an absolute disaster. Oh my gosh, that Widow Mine landing the hit on the Void Ray. The 2 Adepts shading in ahead of the army. I mean, it was just a bit too cavalier the way herO marched forwards there. And he's now going to dive on the Raven. Focuses. He does get an auto turret out, so that was good. But, oh, the Widow Mine! It's in the... Oh, man, not again! And another Phoenix goes down, and he's on 3 base, trying to get a Twilight, trying to get a 3rd base up. But herO just has no units, no tech. He's got nothing to defend. I mean, Maru could push him right now, or he could wait for Stim. I mean, he's got options. Meanwhile, herO's building shield batteries. But for what? I mean, what's the follow-up? What do you just go straight charge here? He's gonna go straight charge Zealot with 2 Phoenix in the air. My god, this is a disaster of a situation. I mean, I think you've got to go Templar Archives and straight for Psystorm, because that has the biggest comeback potential. It's obviously not reliable, but I mean, if you go for the reliable, slow Colossus deck, you're just not going to get it up in time to defend this push. So I think this is very clever. herO's like, okay, we'll go... Oh man, he loses another Phoenix. I thought that was going to get out. He basically says, look, if I just land the magic storm drops and the Zealots jumping on you, then that'll be awesome. And that is a big if. Oh, this is I mean, if herO can even make a game of this, I'll be impressed. Like, just surviving for 3 more minutes. If he makes it to 9 minutes 30, I'm gonna call herO a god gamer just for that. If he wins the game, then he is the god of the gods. He's Zeus. He's the king of the gods, you know. He's the big boy. Oh man, another Phoenix goes down. This is not good. Looks like he's gonna try and go Archon Sentry. With the bat, I mean, Archons plus shield batteries are amazing. That's what his whole defense is predicated on. Problem here is he's got no anti-air at all, right? He's lost his Phoenix. So Maru can literally just pick up into Medivacs, drop in the main, pick up and leave whenever he wants to. Like, there's nothing herO can do about that. He's kind of hoping that Maru just overcommits to a frontal shove. Cancel. Oh, he's a little low on Pylon, so he might be supply blocked in a moment when that Pylon goes down as well. Like, a Pylon finishes, but a Pylon dies. And yeah, he's close to being supply blocked here. Okay, here we go. Big stim. Ooh, Archon battery on both sides. Force fields are good. Juicy force fields, but Maru does save some of those. Widowmine's getting some decent shots off, but the Archon plus the battery overcharge doing well. Oh man, auto turrets going down on that right side as well, trying to pull back those sentries and stalkers. herO taking a heroic effort to defend in a situation where he just does not have the numbers. But as much of a hero as he is, you can see, he doesn't have it. There's no way, this is not enough stuff. He does at least bait another stim out, and the medevac energy is real low once again. Tank on the left will go down, but so will hero's third base and that Nexus. And as I said, that 930 mark, it's looking like an aspirational, game time to survive in this one. I'm actually amazed that hero is actually fighting as well as he is, because when you're this far down on firepower, fights just scale out of control so quickly. Becomes so good for the enemy so fast. But he's trying to make another wave of Archons to defend with the shield battery there. He should have another battery overcharge available. He's thinking about moving forward. He's also building pylons all over the map. His probe's going to come in, see a third base, which of course is going to make him feel terrible, realizing he's down on bases versus Terran, who also has mules to boot. That Raven is still alive. Another force field goes down. Force field with Archon Zealot can be devastating, but you can see he just doesn't have the force fields left. They're all gone. His numbers are a little bit too low. Oh, he loses an Archon before the battery overcharge goes down. Just so much firepower from Maru. Now, these Archons can survive a long time. Notice he's pulling back. He's trying to bait them in. The probes take a Widowmine shot, but another Archon gets focused down, and an interference matrix goes down. That Archon loses all of its confidence as the Raven points at it and says, "You're a cuck." And the Archon just goes, "Oh, maybe I am." That Archon goes down as well. herO, great effort, mate. But yeah, that was a disaster of an opening. I would have loved to see this opening if it didn't go so badly. I can imagine that 2 Adept Shade combined with the Phoenix Void Ray going in, a delicious maneuver, but it was badly mistimed by herO. Those Adepts should not have been going in so far ahead of the rest of his force. We have to, I know I'm doing a lot of rewinds in this series. Some of you like it, some of you don't. But I got to look at that and see, like, how did you mistime this so badly? So let's look at this from herO's vision. So why are the Adepts shading in now when your Void Ray Phoenix is all the way back? Like, how does... So I think he's under the impression that the Cyclone and Viking is defending the main. He can maybe pick off a Marine, run backwards, lure the Cyclone Viking down, and then shade in with like a bunch more Adepts and that sort of stuff. But already Maru has scouted the pylon because he was out here hoping to run into an Oracle. These Adepts just go down completely for free. I mean, the Phoenix Void Ray is way too far behind, man. And he tracks into the Widowmine. Oh, it's a disaster. Absolute disaster. Yeah, you can imagine if there's Adepts, like if he warps in 3 Adepts, shades in, he's got another Adept back here. If he shades in with 6 Adepts on top of this army at like 5 minutes, because there's no extra Cyclone Viking, but like herO's build legitimately beats Maru's build here. Everything needed to kind of go perfectly for Maru, and it did. So herO's got to be kicking himself, because now Maru ties it up 2-2 with a losing build order. If you don't stumble in a few units at a time, walk through the Widowmine and mistime everything, herO has this whole series in the bag 3-1. But instead, it's not the way it goes, man. StarCraft's a game of details. Let's go game 5. All right. It's all going to come down to game number 5. Maru in the bottom left representing onside, and herO sending one of his very first probes across the map in the top right side. So herO's going to go over there, look to start harassing from the very, very start. He could proxy a gateway if he wants to, but I think this is just a scout to get in there. It's a big map, so he won't get there in time to block the barracks from starting, but he can immediately start getting some damage on that SCV. Luckily for Maru, the SCV's protected over there, but oh, he shifts over into a dangerous spot, and herO's going to get his taser out and start going zappy zap. Now, he did survive to 921 in the last game, so a valiant effort from herO considering how terrible the start was. But at the end of the day, Maru took that one out. Double gas opening for Maru here. Okay, probe's going to rotate through that mineral line. I do like that he pulled an SCV off to interrupt the shield regen. If you run through the mineral line like that, you're just asking to have your shield regeneration interrupted. So good to see that Maru, unlike many players, he says, yeah, I can delay returning minerals for a second to get an extra hit on you. It's definitely worth it. And you see, he does it again there as well, just to limit this probe's utility. And that barracks will finish up momentarily. Reaper starting up here. And course, once he hits 100 gas, he'll be building a factory, pulling a few workers off gas. We've seen this opening many times. Meanwhile, herO going Cybercore, 3 workers on gas, 15 workers on minerals into a Nexus. Now, if he doesn't drop a second gas, then we know that it's the 3-gate build again. Second pylon goes down first, which is standard here to go down before the second gas. herO, his probe is dancing back and forth. SCV is going to come in. Knowing the SCV is coming, you have to do the second gas. In case he comes in and spots no second gas, he knows what you're up to. So he puts the second gas down, but no, it looks like he's intending to mine from it as well. So yeah, this very well could just be adepts into Stargate, but no, he does start Warp Gate. Warp Gate going down tells us that it probably is a Twilight Council opening. Interesting. Here we go. Reaper is going to go and take down the probe. There we go. Probe does fall. SCV moving over there as well. First adept's about to pop. Second adept is on the way. He's going to double chrono them as well. So looking for some fierce adept pressure. Maru is going to go for the command center on the low ground. He's happy to put that one out there, expose himself a little bit. Now remember, we saw adepts getting crazy damage on inside out versus him against the Reaper Hellion, just with some nice micro into a trade. But that very easily could have gone the other way. And you can see, yeah, look at that. Maru's using that one range advantage, gets a few hits on it. But the moment he takes a hit in return, he backs off. As the adept comes in, be kind of crazy to commit to that. You really want to wait for the second adept now. And he's even chronoing a third adept. So herO's going to do it again. He's going to try and do same what he did on Inside Out by getting really good damage done with adepts. That adept needs to cancel. Cancel its shade. Good cancel. He's going to try and join up. It's very damaged though. This seems very risky for herO right now. But he gets a Reaper. That's really good. And there's no more Reaper Hellion on the way. Uh-oh. Maru's command center on the low ground. Remember, I said it's risky. And this is it. Oh, herO split fires, gets the Alien, and damages the Reaper at the same time. And if he can delay that command center, that is monstrous. Widow Mine is not helpful here. There's no way herO's going to let that Widow Mine fire. All you can do is create a no-go zone. That's all it achieves. It achieves a you can't walk here, at least not too deep inside that zone. The second adept comes in as well. The Reaper's getting low. Reaper goes down, and that means that SCV goes down at 90%. Oh, man. 66 out of 71 seconds. Marines do take out one of those, but the other adept there is going to be able to get him. Come on, surely the command center finishes now. Surely the SCV is going to go down, though. No, it does survive. Okay. The adept there, unable to get inside the main base. Finally, the command center finishes. Behind this, though, he's going to go four-gate blink. 4-gate blink. 4-gate blink is the follow-up. Twilight Council's already making that blink upgrade, and he's going to go just for the heavy pressure follow-up. herO has found himself 2 SCVs, a Hellion, 2 Reapers, a Marine. And meanwhile, Maru's like, hey, well, I've got a 3 Marine drop. I'm going to drop on your adept and kill it. Can he get it? Can he get it? Oh, herO gets out of there. Oh, barely escapes, man. And then runs back to its death. No, herO, run away. Run away. Oh, he's confident. He's going to keep using that adept for map vision. Warp Prism is on the way. Behind this, we've got a Raven and no siege tanks just yet. He's got the tech lab about to come out, but it's already almost 5 minutes in this game, man. It's very late to be getting into siege tanks against a 4-gate blink. He's gonna have to repair this bunker, but notice that bunker is very far from the mineral line, so he's gonna have to pull SCVs really quickly as Maru. He's going with a Widow Mine drop. Hopefully that sees what's going on. He's gonna see the gateways. Okay, he sees the gateways here. He sees 3 gateways. He knows he's being 4-gate blinked. Okay, this is pretty good defense for herO so far. The Widow Mine tries to burrow, unburrow, gets punished for it. No, it doesn't actually. Oh, and he's retargeting. Maru says, come on, go back to mining so I can kill all your probes. And herO doesn't even blink because Maru delayed firing so long. herO looked elsewhere. He loses a Stalker. Now, Maru knows what's going on. He starts a second siege tank. He should build a bunker in the main as well right now. This is incredibly committed for herO. He might be thinking that herO is just going to back out of it, take a third, and only do a light pressure. The siege tank in a very safe position. That's a perfect position for this tank. Covers most of the main. As I said, he needs SCVs at the front ready to repair. He realizes it. Widow Mine goes back and gets 8 probes. Oh, a big boomy redrop. Massive damage there. If he can just... Oh, he's unsieging the tank. What are you doing, Maru? No, siege it. Oh, no, he gets caught on siege. And the second tank pops out right on top of those stalkers. Run, 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 run. Oh, no. 2 siege tanks go down and the Raven. herO, in a matter of seconds, has taken Maru by the hand and said, we're going on a trip to D-Town, baby. That is a disaster for Maru, an absolute disaster. Unsieging that tank at just the worst possible time. The second tank popping out in the battle as well. Oh no, and now the Stalkers They're just outrange. They've got the mobility advantage. They've got everything. Another 2 probes go down at home, but even their heroes split against it. These Stalkers are just... The Marines are no match for them. The medevac boosts back in and gets its face ripped off. And herO, like I said, he had the build order win in that last game. Well, here, apparently just chronoing 3 Adepts across the map off a Cybercore before Nexus. Gets some momentum. Follows it up with 4-gate Blink and Maru. He was trying to build tanks. But man, just not respecting that move. We've got to look at that one more time and say, hey, wait a second. Oh, like, you knew what was happening. Couldn't you? I think he could have been fine. I think the starport positioning is brilliant. It makes it really hard for the Stalkers to get in range. You know, positioning your tank behind buildings like this makes it hard for those Stalkers to get in and focus it down. And even if he just put like an auto turret there to like block them as they're marching forwards or something, that could be huge. But I think Maru, like, just, he was like, oh, yeah, you're busy defending. I've got a few more seconds. And just perfect timing for herO to happen to blink in. And Maru, I mean, he's got not that many Marines either. 4 of them are in the natural. They're not here. The Raven running forward. He's just got so little firepower. If he has a bunker loaded with Marines, that's at least going to stall this out a bit, especially with the tank shelling on it. But, man, and the second tank not quite getting away as well. Oh. What an absolute disaster for Maru. That's really rough. But I got to say, guys, I have more questions because I feel like he got a bit lucky in that last game with the defense anyway. And herO has so many different variations of aggression. How the hell did he get so much damage done at the start? Did he change his build order up? Like, was his gateway earlier than normal? Did he speed up his Cybercore by doing that? So he went 14 pylon, very standard pylon. That means he goes very standard gateway. I mean, it's crisp. It's because it's here in the main, right? It's a well-timed gateway. It goes down about 38 seconds. But it's just a 20 Cybercore. Like, it's nothing special. This is a normal Cybercore timing on a big map, chronoing Adepts across the map. And, I mean, Maru scouted with an SCV, so he was a little paranoid this game. Gets a probe. I think if he goes 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion, he's fine in this scenario, but I think he just doesn't feel confident because he's like, oh, you know, herO's going to shut that down. I won't do any damage. And you can see he just stops at 2 Reapers, 1 Hellion. If he went 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion, this could be a very different story. But he even started building a Marine, then canceled it, then built a Reactus. This all delays his Marine production. If he had a second Hellion building, this would make a big diff, but herO just confidently does a triple chrono on his gateway, something... Even a quad chrono. That's a 4th chrono boost on his gateway, guys. So that's a lot less probes than you'd expect. Most Protoss players would be above 30 probes by this point. Normally, they have a fully saturated natural by 4 minutes. He's not going to be anywhere near there because he's not spending any chrono boost on economy. This is a big commitment, and this is the sort of stuff which a lot of players are very wary. They go, Maru's defense is too good. I'm not going to risk it. But herO is always changing up his aggressive maneuvers, and with his micro, he's often finding great value out of it. If this command center was on the high ground, this wouldn't have been as big of a problem. Because it's on the low ground, that SCV being exposed means he can't just pull up his ramp. Maru does get punished here. So I think either going for the 3rd Reaper in the 2nd Hellion or building his command center on the high ground, both would have made him much stronger against this build. But herO, really good at picking his build orders and finding weakness in his opponent. Finds it here once again. Very well played. GG! herO goes to the grand finals of DreamHack Masters Atlanta. Well played.